I almost dropped out of university because of entrepreneurship. Hello, my name is Tom. I'm an 18 years old computer science student and entrepreneur. I've created Learning Pass, which is a platform that helps you to learn online faster, but that's not the subject of the video. Today, I want to talk about the struggle that students can have when they want to launch a startup. So, I launched my startup in the last few months, and it was difficult to wake up. I was very, very tired, and it has been very difficult to manage my workload, my mental state, my physical state, while being a student and an entrepreneur. So, today I want to help you as much as possible. If you are in the same situation as me, I'll give you my advices, my experience, what did I learn along the way, and even if you're not in that situation, maybe you know someone that is in. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, the first thing I would advise you to do is to choose your priorities. Because if you're at school, if you're at university, and at the same time you want to launch a startup, you'll have to make some sacrifices. You can't be the best in school and the best in entrepreneurship. Of course, if you just want to launch a side project, you can prioritize school, but I think that if you're here, it's because you want the best for your startup. So you must choose between having the best grades or creating a successful business. So, to be pretty simple, I don't think that you should not work at all on school. You just need to prioritize the areas where you are weaker to work on it, and the areas where you know what you're doing and you're good, you just do the bare minimum. Of course, it won't get you the best grades, but if you get your year and just pass to the next semester, then I think that is completely all right because you are building a startup at the same time. When I talk about priorities, there is also priorities regarding your social life. So when I talk about your social life, I don't mean that you should see nobody and just stay in your cave. I believe that to be a successful entrepreneur, you must have a social life, and a social life that brings you joy and that helps you to feel fulfilled. But you know, there is always those parties, those events where you don't want to go, you feel it in your gut, and you just go because of peer pressure, social pressure. So, to those events, you must learn to say no. Just the fact that you don't feel it should be enough to not go through it. Sometimes it's important to do your part. For example, if you're going to networking event for your startup and you know that it's important and it could bring you a good connection, you should not neglect it. You must also learn to say yes, of course, to events or to people that you love and that you care about. So that's the first point. Just prioritize thing. Don't try to do everything at once because it won't work unless you're a very exceptional person. And I think you do, but you can't do everything at once and be good at everything. So that's my point of view. Maybe you would disagree. You can drop a comment below and we try to debate in the comment section. The second thing that I think is very important is to plan, to do a planning, to schedule when you need to work, to be efficient in both school and business. I used to just work for my exams the week before, and it was not very successful. I didn't the best grade I could, and overall, I was just stressed for a week. So the best thing to do is to divide your workload in smaller chunks. You basically learn one subject a day for 30 minutes, or you work on one exercise a day for 30 minutes. And doing that will help you to not have that stress at the end of the semester. To know what to do, I would advise you to plan retrospectively. I don't know if it's a word in English, but to plan basically from your project, from your assignment, from your exam. Just from that, you plan for the weeks, for the month to come. And that way, you don't feel the stress and the guilt of not having worked enough. And what I say here also work for business. I can do a video about productivity and how to manage work. If you want, that could be an interesting subject. Let me know in the comments. I also think that the people you hang out with, you work with, you do project with, are very important. I do not mean that you should choose your friends regarding how they can help you, but you just feel it. Some people are hardworking and will just give the best. So find the right people, the people that enlighten you, that help you uh, to succeed in school. And this advice works as well for business. You also need to be careful with deadlines. So that's kind of the same advice as before, but deadlines can be really stressful, and just note them somewhere you can remember, put notifications. And the third point I wanted to talk with you is a bit more philosophical, a bit more personal also maybe. It's the fact that you should also accept the struggle. Like, you will sometimes doubt. You will sometimes have a hard time just working on a project or working for school or just working at all. And that is normal. That is part of the life of an entrepreneur and the life of a student. You shouldn't listen to social media bullshit that tells you to take a cold shower at 4:30 and yeah, to wake up early in the morning. I believe that, of course, something are beneficial in those advices, but just do what feels right. You can, of course, wake up early, but if you're not an early person, it won't help you at all. You'll be tired and you'll be less efficient. So just try and test, and you'll find out eventually what works for you. I would also tell you that you can be proud of you and just don't overcomplicate things. Like, yeah, sometimes you're not the best, but at the same time, you're just building a startup in your 20s, maybe in your 25, but at the same time, you're building a startup in your 20s. So that's alone is a huge thing. Like, there's not a lot of people that are doing that, so you can be proud of you. Finally, I would say that the most important thing is to continue. I think, and it's my philosophy, and maybe you will disagree because maybe it's because I'm European, but I think that having a sustainable lifestyle when doing entrepreneurship is way more important than grinding through the night. I think that you have a clearer mind and you just don't have brain fog as much as you would if you were grinding that much. I also wanted to say, maybe just as a reflection, that schools are often depicted negatively in entrepreneurship community. Like, I get it because I built a startup that basically does education instead of schools for self-taught people. So I know that the educational systems has a lot of flaws, but I also think that the educational system can bring you a lot of value. Of course, it depends on your school, it depends on a lot of factors where you live and so on, but I think that schools, and particularly engineering school, at least in my country, in France, bring you up with the network that it can provide and with sometimes entrepreneurship programs inside of the school that will help you to have advices, that know some people, and just to get moving faster than if you were alone. So thank you very much for watching the video. Of course, you know the usual. If you liked it, you can drop a comment, you can like the video, you can subscribe, of course. And if you have the time and if you want to support me, you can just check at learningpath.academy. It's basically my platform that I built so during my studies. So if you want to take a look at it and maybe give me some feedback, I'd be more than happy. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.